123 123. So, when you woke up this morning, what were the first things that came to mind? What were the problems you had to solve? How did you sort of come into focus this morning?
I woke up and I was relieved that I'd had a good night's sleep because I've been having insomnia. So again, I was grateful to wake up, be alive, and that I'd had about 8 hours sleep.
That's a good amount.
Yeah, I know, I'm very lucky, yeah, very lucky. Because for a while I was only getting about 45 minutes to an hour, so I'm trying to instill a bit more gratitude into my daily living these days. Sometimes for some people I know it's really difficult. Life can be incredibly challenging. I've been going through some challenges over the last few years and haven't always dealt with them so well. But things are improving. So I had an appointment with my psychiatrist this morning, so that's pretty much, I got up and tried to meditate, but I was running a bit late, so went straight to the psychiatrist appointment. Yeah, gratitude I suppose was key this morning, yeah.
When you say gratitude, how do you frame that gratitude? Is it about small things? Is it about big things? Is it about your life, or is it about things around you?
In general, incredible gratitude for my family. I still have my mum and dad alive, and I've got a good relationship with them. I've got 2 brothers and a sister-in-law and nephew and niece, so I also have a really good relationship with all of them. So I volunteer at a cafe where there's a lot of people who are enduring difficult circumstances, and I've got a lot of friends who are also enduring life challenges, and some of them have really dysfunctional, difficult family dynamics going on. So that has been brought to my awareness quite a lot over the last, say, 3 or 4 years. So I feel very grateful for my own personal circumstances, even the difficult times which led to me not being able to work for the last couple of years, but I'm trying to sort of see the bigger picture, that some of the obstacles that have come up because of that have led to different opportunities, and to me meeting other people in similar situations as myself, and so I've formed connections with people in the last few years that I wouldn't normally have had the opportunity to. My work have been incredibly supportive of my situation as well, so I'm incredibly grateful to them. I'm a veterinary nurse and I've worked at the same veterinary hospital for 27 years. And I feel very grateful for them supporting me through my mental health crisis. But also grateful, to the bigger picture, the positive things that happen in my peers' life as well.
When you're in a difficult place, when times are tough, you mentioned the fact that you met up with other people, you went to a cafe where people were facing difficult challenges. Is it a positive thing to kind of be with other people who are also fighting difficult times? Is that a supportive thing when you're all in it together, even though you're in different crises?
I definitely have found it to be, and also it gives me a perspective, a bit of a kick up the arse as well, because you can catastrophise, and the mental suffering that you add to an existing problem, or presume it's going to get worse, or presume nobody else feels the same way as you do about anything. So it's good to get that perspective that you're not the only one enduring hardships, you're not the only one that's maybe framing it in that way as well. But it's good to realise that you've got things that you have taken for granted, and so to dwell on those more rather than ruminating on the things that have gone wrong or any mistakes that you might have made. But then it doesn't feel very nice knowing that other people might be enduring more difficult circumstances than you as well. So then that brings a sort of cycle of guilt and shame and sadness for them as well. It's a bit of a tricky situation as well, because you don't like to think, well, at least I've not got that situation.
But that must help sometimes also. Yeah. It's kind of a weird one where you like to compare to other people who go, at least I'm not in that difficult circumstance, but that doesn't really help you think about your own circumstance somehow.
No, I suppose it, but it does highlight to myself what I do have, and to focus on that and appreciate it far more.
And is that sort of going back to the gratitude thing?
Yes, I suppose. Yes, yeah. I think that is. You're right. It's the gratitude cycle.
And when you mentioned earlier about only sleeping for 45 minutes a night, which sounds like torture, was that a manifestation of just not being able to get out of your own head, being able to get out of your own thoughts?
I think it was a few different circumstances, plus I had a situation with a friend that I was very worried about, plus also I was having incredible, horrible nightmares as well, which wasn't helping.
So you basically didn't want to go to sleep?
Well, yeah, there is that huge thing, because when I do go to sleep, the nightmares are feeling trapped in them as well. But I was absolutely desperate for sleep as well. But yeah, with more peaceful dreams would have been nice. The nightmares have ceased up to a point. They're still a bit surreal and strange, but and my whole nervous system it still does feel a bit shot to pieces. And as I'm discovering more and more, we do sort of hold the trauma, etc., and stress in our body. So I've been doing much better after stopping looking at any devices for a couple of hours before sleep. And I know the whole world knows this and tells us all, but do we sometimes do it? Not enough. And I went home to Scotland for a couple of weeks and managed to put that into practice. I'm still getting stressed and anxious about certain aspects of my life regarding my career and the world in general. I mean, I haven't even touched upon all the crises that are going around in the world. I was going down lots of rabbit holes and trying to educate myself on what was happening in many parts of the world, but I realised that dwelling too much on that meant that I was less equipped to look after myself properly. I was feeling very down and hopeless about certain things, including my own life situation. Plus, it meant I wasn't able to help in my own sphere of influence. So I'm trying to be... It's hard because you don't want to look away, and some people don't have the luxury of turning off from difficult circumstances going on in the world, but I've forced myself to detach from it a lot, because it just meant that I wasn't really fit for purpose for anything. And I don't think we're designed to be fully immersed in what's going on in the world, all the fear-inducing things all day, every day.
But we are. Due to those devices you talk about, we carry around in our pocket something that connects us to everything, everywhere, all the time.
This is it, and it's hard to look away sometimes, because you feel the guilt that you should be informed, but so informed, and then there's lots of different versions of what's going on around the world. So it's trying to get to the truth. Misinformation. We're in a huge, scary age of misinformation, and the AI type stuff. Yeah, it's hard to know, to discern the truth, and also to discern what you should be making yourself aware of. And I've got that quite a little bit wrong in the last few years, I think.
When we talk about truth and we talk about trying to get things straight and know what's what, does that also relate to how you have dealt with your own personal crisis, being true with yourself, trying to work out what is true in your thought process and not? Is that part of it?
Yeah, definitely, because our thoughts, they control so much of us, and our emotions and how we feel about things, and it is unbelievable when you sort of just sit and watch what your thought patterns can do, whether it's based on fearful imaginings of the future or fearful ruminations of the past, or regret. I've got a lot of regret about a lot of events in my life in general, plus over the last few years, and I'm trying to stop dwelling on them, because it's stopping me from moving forward. It's harming my family as well, because it's upsetting them to see me being so upset. Sorry, I'm not sure if I'm answering the question very well, but
no.
It's difficult to get a straight answer out of me.
No, you're speaking beautifully. I'm really enjoying hearing what you have to say. You mentioned family. Is family? I mean, family's a complicated dynamic at any time of life.
Yes.
Have family been empathetic and have they been a source of strength through your difficult times, or have you had to in some way shield them from what you're going through to make sure that they don't worry too much?
There was a period when I was shielding my mother, etc., from it, but I've then for a long period not been able to shield her from it, and I've actually done her head in by going on about my problem. Not badly, but she's got a really amazing sense of humour, and she keeps taking the mick out of me to try and snap me out of the depressive
nice.
ruminations. So she gets me to able to laugh at myself.
That's great.
And that does actually help. She's like a little comedy genius, I'll be honest.
Brilliant. Humour as a medicine.
Yeah, this is it. She's been instrumental in helping. We should say that she now needs a psychiatrist herself just in order to deal with me. But I have but yeah,
there's
it's
also
a good relationship.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
Well, that's brilliant. And there is a wisdom to mothers. It took me years to work out, and I was a bit reluctant to accept it with my mum. But I was like, mums are always right. It's really annoying, but they are.
They are. She does keep saying, I know you're not going to listen to me, you're just going to ask my opinion, do your own thing anyway. But I am right about quite a few, and she is. She's been right about a lot of stuff, yeah. Still stubborn at the age of 51, trying to forge my own path. That's not exactly worked out well in some aspects, but yeah, you're right. Infinite wisdom.
When you work as a vet or a veterinary assistant, you're dealing with people all the time. You're also dealing with animals, but the people who come in must always be worried, essentially, about their animals.
Yeah, that's right. So it does take, you've got to always be mindful that their apparent aggression or their apparent impatience or their apparent inappropriate reaction to anything is of course down to the grief, concern, worry, anticipation. They might be worried in terms of financial costs, but also are they going to manage to get their version of the symptoms over to us in the amount allotted time, and are we going to be able to help their animal to their expectations. So you've always got to remember not to take it too personally, and to be mindful that it does affect people in all these different ways.
So, and in that role that you have, then you're managing other people's emotions, essentially.
Yeah, which isn't always easy, you're absolutely right, and to try and be even-handed in how you deal with them, and also make sure that the language that you use isn't too, because of course we don't always remember anything under these situations, and so trying to break it down into maybe layman terms, but also if they want more than layman terms, appreciating that they're just as intelligent as all the medical professionals that are dealing with them, and they actually know their animal and their condition at a point even better than us, because they're focusing on that animal, they're focusing on that condition, whereas I suppose for us we're trying to be a jack of all trades, and so always to take what they say with as much seriousness as you do the medical professionals, because you can't miss anything. The animals of course can't verbalise anything themselves, so everything they say, even though it may not appear it at the time, if they are perhaps repeating themselves, or if you think that they're going off piste, not necessarily, and you have to take everything they say very seriously, because it could be the missing piece of information, or it could be something we've not occurred to us. So.
And I always get the impression that animals are actually, what's the word? They don't show a lot of the physical pain. They're very, what's the word? It's not dogged, it's not determined.
Stoic.
Animals are very stoic.
Yeah, some of them are and some of them aren't. Some of
right,
them,
okay. So some of them make quite a fuss.
Yeah. Some of them can be over egging it, and that's
I love
stress,
that.
But some of
Acting
them
up.
Acting up. Yeah, there's many animals that are capable of doing that. Many dogs and cats. They are incredibly smart.
Oh, great. So they're kind of like hypochondriacs.
I think they've worked out that sometimes I can get a little bit of extra fuss. I have seen different dogs like faking a limp and then swapping it to the other leg.
Oh, I love that.
And I've had
Brilliant.
friends who've animals have done that as well. But you're right, a lot of them, they're incredibly stoic, and so it is sometimes difficult to determine what's going on with them, because pain can manifest in so many different ways, and there's all these sort of telltale signs that like cats, for instance, there's facial expressions. In rabbits, you can get this grimace of pain. Cats, there's a certain scale that you can work out to see from just like minute little differences in their face and their whiskers and their eye position, etc., to work out if they're
because I think it's always it's a bit of a generalisation, but you know, when cats stare at you, they're generally quite poker-faced.
Yeah, that's right, exactly, yeah. There's a lot going on underneath there, but yeah.
No idea what they're thinking.
Judging us and coming up with the conclusion that we're perhaps inferior. But so they can be minute, these little differences in the expression. But yeah, there is a lot of good information, thankfully, because I think cats were considered small dogs for a long time and weren't given analgesia.
So? Like historically?
I think, historically, kind of, as in just in terms of it's only in the last few different decades that analgesia in cats within the veterinary medicine has been considered. There's sort of been a long-standing tradition of analgesia in cats and dogs perhaps has been missed, but
forgive my ignorance, what's analgesia?
Pain relief, apologies.
Right.
So and the differences in the way that the body synthesises different pain-killing drugs as well, a difference between cats and dogs. And there's something interesting as well. Things like paracetamol are incredibly toxic for cats. So the owners that think, I'm just going to medicate my cat or dog with my own medication. So which is why you should always get veterinary recommendation about if you think your animal's in pain, you should always get them assessed. But they synthesise painkillers and other medication differently. So,
do you have certain animals that you have kind of more connection with or empathy with, or I'm sure professionally you have to be good with everyone, but are there certain animals you basically like more than others due to their character?
I'm equal on the cats and dogs. I wouldn't be able to pick between them.
That's pretty rare.
Because
people are usually either a dog person or a cat person.
This is it. I think usually in veterinary it might be a bit more equal balance. I think I do like donkeys.
Why?
Wouldn't mind trying to. I don't know. They're stoic, and the donkeys. They've historically. Yeah, I think
they've always. When you go to other countries where donkeys are used as labour, they have a hard life.
They have a really hard life. I remember reading a tale about a donkey that was being used as a Sherpa type thing for people who were doing mountaineering type things, and I think it was just a really sad case of a donkey that had had so much on its back because the person was bringing all luxury items that it kind of threw itself off of the cliff because it just was like, according to the story anyway, but I just remember reading this sad tale that the donkeys really are, they've got across the world, you're right, and because of their stoic nature,
There was a cat that just went past us. We're in a cafe garden. A cat just walked past, and without looking at it, you reached out your hand. You knew it was there, and you just sensed its presence. So you've obviously got that sixth animal sense.
It's in my peripheral vision there. Missing out on a cat opportunity. Where's he going? I missed him.
He's off somewhere. Did you always want to work with animals? Was that something that was a long-held dream? Did you fall into it? How did you become a veterinary assistant?
Back in Scotland, I went straight from high school into working insurance, which was dull as dishwater.
Now that is not a usual path to veterinary work.
No, I was not suited to that career whatsoever.
Why did you go into it?
I think I was at that rebellious stage where I didn't really want to work that hard at school, and a lot of people were going into banking or insurance. My two brothers had as well, and I just thought, well, I don't really fancy going to university right now. I just want to make a bit of money. I don't know why. But anyway, so I just fell into insurance but was not suited to it at all and became so disillusioned with it. I became fixated on veterinary and did lots of sort of part-time stuff and evening reception work at a private practice up there, plus volunteered for the PDSA and the Scottish Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. So I did a few different things.
So you kind of knew what you were going into because you eased yourself in with extra work in your own time.
Yeah.
got used to it, and you're like, this fits, this feels
is it.
good.
And I found the hospital that I work at now, the Blue Cross, in the Yellow Pages. That's how long ago it was.
Oh, great.
In London, I was coming down to visit my granny, and went for a day just to sort of see practice. That's often what people trying to get into the veterinary world would do, go and see practice. And back then, it was 97. There was no formal interviews. The head nurse could see that I was so keen and desperate. She said, "Do you want a job? We've got a student position coming now." So that was it. Within a month, I was moving from Edinburgh to London, packed my suitcase and went. And,
Great.
yeah, it wouldn't happen that way now.
But it's lovely that human way that you got that. You know, someone just said, yeah, she's got the right feel.
Yeah.
It was just a meeting.
She was so keen.
And it wasn't one of hundreds of applications via email. It was just like, here I am.
This is it, yeah. Do you want the job? It's
Right.
yours.
And-
Certainly wouldn't happen that way. No.
And is the Blue Cross a single hospital? Is it a charity? What is the Blue Cross?
It's a charity for people who are on means-tested benefits, and so the main 24-hour emergency hospital is in Victoria. It's got a
Victoria and London.
Victoria, London, yeah, and the other, it's got a place in Hammersmith and Merton as well, which is the 9 till 5 general clinic. And there's also one in Grimsby as well, a 24-hour hospital in Grimsby. But also they've got rehoming and adoption centres across the country as well. But they've also got a mobile clinic that we've got some connection with in Ireland, but it's just the veterinary side of it is different. Although we will see some of their animals from the rehoming centres if they do have any complaints, but it's quite separate. It's just the veterinary hospitals are there for people in London on means-tested benefits who are unable to afford their veterinary fees.
So you moved to London from Scotland for the job.
Yes.
Was living in London part of it? Did you just have to live in London because that's where the job was, because there wasn't a Blue Cross in Scotland, or were you drawn south and give it a go?
My granny was part of the draw because she was living down here as well, but also trying to get it up in Scotland, it was difficult because you have to have the experience, which is why I was doing the various bits and pieces. But because a lot of people want to get into the veterinary profession, or maybe back then they did. I'm not quite so sure if it's the same now, but because there's it's not exactly an easy profession. People's expectations are quite high. Veterinary fees are quite high.
When you say
get a lot of burnout.
So why is it not easy? Why is there burnout? What's the pressures?
I suppose the pressures is, well, keeping everybody happy. As you know, the rising cost of absolutely everything.
So it's the people, not the animals, which is where the pressure is.
Both. But yeah, the mental health crisis is quite high within the veterinary profession.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Vets do feel an awful lot of pressure to save everybody, but to do that for the amount of money that people want to pay. We've got an NHS, so we're used to not paying for our health care. But so then when you get hit with a vet bill, people will analyse it and think that they're just being ripped off, but they're not realising that medical care costs an awful lot of money. In other parts of the world, of course, you have to pay for that, so you've got more of an understanding and might have insurance, whereas here some people do get pet insurance out because they are mindful that the costs are incredibly high and they want to cover themselves for it, but it can sometimes come as a bit of a shock to people, especially as everything is rising anyway. So I think vets come under a lot of pressure because there's a lot of people on forums or TV programmes or radio shows that are often lambasting veterinary fees, but they don't actually always realise.
Because it is expensive.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I don't have a pet, but
Yeah.
I understand from friends of mine who do have a pet that you don't want your pet to get sick, and also that the insurance of a pet is also expensive. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, vets are incurring expensive veterinary fees to go to university to study for a very long time. So you're paying for that knowledge. You've got high overhead costs of some of the practices. If you've got the up-to-date radiography equipment, so that's X-ray. If you've got facilities where you're able to carry out lots of diagnostic testing, that all costs a lot of money. So people have got to realise that where you're taking their animal, there is high overhead costs, so that's going to factor in as well. The drugs cost a lot of money as well, the expertise,
So going back to where you are now with your life, is the veterinary world going to be part of your future?
I hope so. I was hoping to perhaps do it part-time plus and explore other options. I'm not getting any younger and it's quite a physical job. I've been volunteering at a cafe and doing other volunteering elsewhere, and sort of starting to broaden my horizons a little bit into some of the skills hopefully I've got are transferable, and so would like to try explore other things, but while still keeping my hand in either part-time or voluntary basis. I would like to still stay connected.
So you've got like an open future with options, and
I hope. Yes. yeah, hopefully, yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No.
I don't want to be presumptuous. That's me putting out the gratitude there again. Yeah, an open future where I'd like to perhaps try other avenues as well. Yeah.
When I cycled past you, you had your eyes closed, you were sat on the pavement by a bus stop, the sun was shining. Were you just taking a moment to gather your thoughts? What was going on in your mind with your eyes closed there by the bus stop?
I was trying to do that. The whole everyone's banging on about being present in the moment. They're always going on about it. It's imperative, and I'll be honest, it does actually help. When I'm not on the devices and you're present and like being aware of your surroundings, it's far safer. Also, it is amazing the different opportunities. Or you might see sometimes you see like a dog that's been separated from their person. Somebody like might drop something. It's better for your awareness for crossing the road. You might see someone that you recognise to connect with. That's often happened. It's unbelievable just being more present and not up in my mind like ruminating or worrying, or because some of the thought patterns are so useless. It's just unbelievable when you observe your mind. So just and like taking in nature, just taking in the beauty, even in the mundane. I know it's so cliched, and I'm sometimes getting really annoyed when people keep saying be in the present moment. I'm thinking, you get in the frickin' present moment. It's not always that possible. Okay, yeah. But when you actually do it, it can make a huge difference. Yeah. Perhaps if I'd been looking down at my phone, not like sitting trying to meditate with my face in the sun, you might not have thought, oh right, I'll go and ask that person.
You're right.
You never know.
You're right, I probably would have passed you by.
Yeah, this is it. But just being aware of your surroundings, I think, from a safety point of view and from an interest point of view, it affords many possibilities. Not always, I know, but yeah. There's something in it. Yeah.